Zakhethelo awuze lapha wemntanami. Yazi ngaze ngajabula ukuthi ubuyile eGoli mntanami ngoba nje kuKhisimusi. Yazi ngijabuliswa yini? Ngijabuliswa ukuthi hey kade uanti ebize grocer. Hayibo kade ngigross unyaka wonke kulendlu. Yabona nje manje ngikhathele kodwa ngithe inhliziyo yami ithokomele mntanami. Yazi thomaliswa nawo ukuthi ukhona. Yabona nje ngoba ukhona ngizitshele ngathi asithini ngizazoke ngiphumule ngizophumula yabo mntanami. Kanti futhi bangitshelile bathi nina lapha eGoli ningomswapheni yabo manje kabuka ukuthi hawu Zakhethelo bawomswapheni eGoli kungcono ngoba bakhona ngoba nje sizoya lapha eShoprite mntanami siyokwenza nje igrocery ya December babone nje ukuthi wena ukhona sibe nje homswapheni nakhona yabo mina ngizoba nawe ngakuphelezela kodwa ke phela wazi ukuthi uanti amandla kanawo njoba sengishilo ukuthi hey unyaka kade unzima kunini ngigrossa kodwa ngoba ukhona mntanami mina ngizokuphelezela yabona ngoba bengibuka ngithi hawu namakhabetha ase-empty kodwa ngoba ukhona sohamba seShoprite siyovethisa nakhona futhi ufike ube umswapheni mntanami. Kanti bahlezi bengijwayela kabi yabona labo mama balapha elokushini abahle bahlezi bethi mina nginazi izingane ezisebenzayo abazi mina ukuthi ngithwele umswapheni baseGoli ngithwele wena yabona ngiphethe wena sofika lapha eShoprite siwe umswapheni ubakhombise phela na umntanami ukuthi ukhona yabona nje inqola igcwala mina ngizoba khona nje ngikuqhubise ngenza isiqiniseko sokuthi nje yonke into esibhalile phansi siyayithola amakhabetha agcwale kube mnandi kube bujebebe yabona khona unyaka ubusunzima kakhulu yabona nje ngijabule kabi lokho esimuzi ukuthi wehlile mntanami ubuyile ekhaya kuzoba mnandi yabo ngiyabonga mntanami ngiyabonga ngithi ake ngizenzele netiye nje lana ngoba phela umuntu sengaze aquleka kulokuso ukuthi ushukela uphansi yabona yabona ke nje kulungile kodwa phela manje yabo ngoba bengifuna kahle ukukutshela lokho ukuthi kumele selapha eShoprite siyothenga yabo hayi lokho kuphela mntanami ngaqhubeka nobukwenza Hi guys, welcome to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Jennifer. If you have not joined our families yet, please make sure that you click that red subscribe button and also give this video a thumbs up if you like it. And by the way, I just want to take this moment and say thank you to each and every one of you that consistently come back and watch my videos, that is subscribed to my channel, because let us be honest, I love shooting these videos. I enjoy the process of shooting, editing and posting the video. But then if I had no one watching the videos on the other side, then it would be very discouraging to keep going and just continue on, so I really appreciate each and every one of you. Please know that. So with that being said, I want us to get into the video of today. This is a bonus video, and today we're going to be talking about how you prep yourself for December. I know that many of us are going to be going home, and as we're going home, there are a lot of expectations from us, from our family members, as we know that if you work away from home, let's say you're working away from Mekapa, you're working in Durban, you're working in Gauteng, you're working away from home. Whenever you're going back home during the festive season, somehow there are these expectations of us that are expected that when we get home, there's just this magic that we have to do. We have to be a man ninja and act like, what, we can afford to do everything. And that's why they end up calling us Umswapheni. And so I want to equip you, girl or guy, if you're watching this video, to say when you're going back home, try to have this plan. And also, if you don't have this plan, as we're going to start January, start implementing some of the things, because one of the tips that I'm going to be sharing with you is not something that you can do now, but it's something that you can do as we start January in the next few weeks. So let us get into the tips. The first thing that I do is I budget. So I already have a budget for December, but I was looking at my budget and I was realizing that there are some things that I did not account for. There are things that have came up, like there's this project that we have to do at home, and so I have to budget for that. Now I'm bringing up a budget to you guys because if you do your budget before you go home, you're setting yourself up for success, because don't wait until you get home. Even if, let's say for instance, your salary is going to come in when you get home. If you're a person that knows how much you get paid, paid, I would advise you to actually do your budget before you go home, before you get into that bus, before you drive all the way to home. Because if you do that, you allow yourself to budget with a sober mind. Not that when you get home, the only thing you're going to be doing is losing. But I know that there's this atmosphere about being at home during the festive season, and then all of a sudden wanting to act like a ninja, and all of a sudden your plans go out the window. So if you don't have a plan, it makes it even more difficult. So I would say that before you go home, make a plan, sit down with yourself and just say, okay, this is my budget. And in your budget, you're going to be budgeting for the things that you have to take care in your place where you stay. So that is paying for water, paying for electricity, and all this other stuff. But then you also have to budget for home. And what I normally do when I'm budgeting for home is I think, what are the things that are going to be happening during this festive season? Like this festive season, we're going to be having a traditional ceremony at home, a small thing, but it does require cash. And so because I know that there's that ceremony, even though I don't know how much money it may need, but I already have money that is going to be set aside specifically for this ceremony. And then secondly, I budget for transport to go home. When I budget for transport to go home, I'm thinking of how much is it normally. And for me, I don't own a car. And so when we're leaving from here, we drive, and then that's where I'll then sleep over, and then the following day take public transport to go home. And normally that means that I'm exchanging taxis twice. And so I know how much it is from that place to Durban. I know how much a taxi is from Durban to Melmoth. And so I make plans around that to say, for transport, I'm going to need this much just for me to move from here to home. So once I know how much transport is going to be, the next thing is I need to know how much am I going to contribute towards groceries. Now, I'm not the only one that works at home, but then I know that some of my family members have this behavior of acting like they don't have money when they get home. I don't know if they really don't have money or they just do it because they feel like I should be the one that is contributing the most. And I hate that. I really, really hate that. So I plan that, okay, if I get home for groceries, this is the amount of money that I can contribute. There's something that I had not budgeted for. That's why I was saying I have to go back to my budgets and kind of review it and make some adjustments, because a project just came out at home. There's something that we have to do, and that requires money, and so I have to budget for that as well. So I like to put this money aside. I like to budget all these things and just put the monies aside so that I know that as I go home, this is allocated this much, this is allocated this much, especially when it comes to groceries. When we sit down and say, okay guys, we have to go and buy groceries, and then everyone has to chip in, I can confidently say, this is the amount that I have budgeted for groceries, and I have no more, and then walk away, And then also, what I do is for travel, I normally just withdraw all of the money for transport, and then I'll keep it as cash. And then I know that in my account, the money for transport is no longer included in there. And then I know that from that money, let's say for instance, we pass toll gates as we are when we're still driving, then I can have that money that I can contribute towards toll gates. But mostly I just withdraw the money for transport and just keep it as cash. Then the rest I keep in my card. But if you have a car, it will make sense for you to keep your money in the card so that you can also earn points when you refill for petrol as well. The second thing that I do is that I used to do, I don't do this now because I've implemented something else in my preparations for the festive season. So the other thing that I used to do is I would leave my cards back here where I stay. Then as I go home, I only take the primary card that I know that I'm going to need at home. And the reason why I did that is because I didn't want to feel like I have money, because it's so easy to throw your plans out of the window when you're at home. As I said, there's just this good feeling about being at home during the festive season. And so to prepare myself and avoid overspending and knowing that, okay, I have money for January, I used to take money that I knew that I'm going to need for January, put in this other card, leave it back here. And then I'll travel at home with only my primary card that only has the money that I have budgeted for to go home. So if you're one of those people that do not have the last plan that I have, the last tip that I have, then think about this as you are going to be budgeting for home and going home. Take some money that you know for a fact that you're going to need for January, put it aside, leave it back here where you are staying, and then when you go home, only leave with the money that you know you're going to be using at home only. The last thing that I do as well when I go home, and this is something that I implemented in January, I joined a stokvel at work. Now, what I loved about the stokvel and what propelled me to join the stokvel is the fact that it's not a stokvel where money is distributed in December. I don't like those stokvel because end of the day, when December, most of us, we get bonuses. Well, I don't get a bonus in December, but some people get bonuses in December. And also in December, you have money. For some reason, I don't know what happens. December, people have money. What about happy? Because in some months during the year, they won't have their money. But then in December, people have money. So I don't like stokvel that will give you money in December, because already you have money in December. You've already budgeted for December. The last thing you need is more money coming into your account and corrupting your mind, and then ending up using that money for things that are not going to benefit you in the long run. They're going to leave you broke in January. And so I like the stokvel because they distribute the money in January. So that means that I can budget, plan for everything, then go home. Even if I overspend, or even if I spend everything to a point whereby I'm left with nothing, by the 3rd of January, I'm going to get my payout. And that means that in January, I'm not going to be broke. In January, I'm going to be able to travel back to where I stay. I'm going to be able to buy groceries. I'm going to be able to pay for my child's school fees and just set myself up for success for the rest of the year. Because here's the thing, when you start your January in a bad mood financially, it kind of kills the momentum. It kills the momentum. It doesn't give you that thing that, you know what, I'm going to get my shit together for the rest of the year. And so I would say that if you do not have that plan by now, try and find a way that as you start January next year, join a stokvel or create a savings plan. You can use Frank, you can use Time Bank, you can use any of the savings account that you feel comfortable with, where you can put money. A minimum of 500 rands, like the stokvel that I'm part of, it's a minimum of 500 rands. Then you know that in January, you're going to have more than 5,000 rand by the time you get your payout or by the time you use that money. So I wanted to share with you guys these tips because they do help. For me, they have helped me a lot, especially budgeting and then sticking to your budget, being frank with your family to say that this is what I can afford. Because here's the thing, when you come back from home, they expect you to be Umswapheni. And then if you act like Umswapheni, they will take advantage of you. And then the next thing, if you don't have any savings that are going to sustain you in January, you find yourself broke. And that is why there are always these memes in January where people only have cabbage in their fridge, or they only have water, or they only have margarine in their fridge. We don't want to be one of those people. You want to make sure that in January your fridge is full and you have no financial stress. That way you can actually kick off the year with a good start. And so with that being said, I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you that is watching this video, and to everyone that is subscribed to my channel. If you're watching this video all the way to the end and you're not subscribed, please join the family. We'd love to have you. Until I see you on the next video, please take care and stay safe. Bye.